Hello and welcome to the Dead Air Dudes. I'm Izzy.
Hello, and I am Raka. We are here to give you
What
some earth-shattering news. Everything that's going on in Hollywood, San Diego Comic-Con that's coming up, and all things Marvel, DC, and whatnot. So,
or whatnot, but whatnot, what's going well, all the goings, all the comings and goings of Hollywood fandom and nerd culture as we know it.
let's
Okay,
get out, brother.
as we all know that San Diego Comic Con, which is probably, let's be honest, probably the most popular comic convention in the world.
The first ever.
Yes, it may not be the most popular anymore, but you know, we can get to that later on. All right. Now, usually since it's in San Diego, I was in California, mostly all of the studios they send their big tentpole films and shows, actors and actresses and everyone in between to talk, to show previews, to give interviews, to tease and titillate the masses. Okay. Now,
Later away.
it seems that so far, up until at the point of this video, Marvel, Netflix, Sony, HBO, and Universal are set to skip San Diego Comic Con. So already the convention has been getting a lot of crap, and they obviously have been, since COVID, they've been hurting. So this does not bode well for what's going on with them. Now, we know Raka actually has been to San Diego Comic Con.
I went 2016, and it's a big freaking deal. They shut down basically the whole harbor area there. And it's awesome because you see everybody funneling in with cosplay. They boast, I think, 600,000 something for the whole 3 days. And it holds that whole area of San Diego in a standstill. And it's awesome because the spirit, I mean, everyone was in cosplay. Maybe 15% of people weren't. And everything was there. It was such glitz and glamour, California vibe, the whole thing. So to have this number of big hitters bow out is a little concerning.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you an example. At New York, after COVID, you had DC who hasn't been there in probably, I don't want to quote, but maybe 2 or 3 years. They haven't been there since they moved their headquarters to the West Coast. They barely were showing up at New York. They were just sending a small contingent, a couple things. The last time I saw anything from DC at New York, I do believe, it was the Birds of Prey costumes at the far, right under the Crystal Pavilion. And yeah, well, they had the costume there, and actually, it was a surprise, which I regret now not being there. I was there, but I left. That the cast was out there, including Margot Robbie, and but alas, last year was the first time, and I keep mentioning New York because that's what my frame of reference is at, and to compare it to San Diego, that Marvel wasn't there as usual. Image, DC, and others were not there. First time Funko came back since COVID, and it was a big deal. Now, for these big people not to show up in San Diego, it's messed up. It's messed up because the big draw is, unfortunately, as much as we like comic books, SDCC is more about, whether one want to admit it or not, more about the movies and the show, the celebrities and the stars. And if they're not there, then what do we got?
I mean, that's the draw. Yes, I get it. But why? What I don't understand. Is it a financial tie? Is it commitments with some of the big speakers? Like conflict? That's a lot of coincidences. You know, that if let's say Marvel decided not to, but then that one, the other one, it's like, and this is a disservice to the fans because,
Hold
like
on.
you just said, that's why they go, and that's one of the big rejuvenation of comic books and fanboys, fangirls. You
Hold on.
know,
We got to consider the fact the big thing in Hollywood's going on now, which we
strike.
exactly, and that is the main reason why the studios are bowing out from SDCC.
That's such a load of crock of crap. It is. Because you have a strike, so what? That means they're not doing anything in the writing side of things. But it doesn't mean the publication side can't do their PR stuff. You know, and it's not just you and I. There's a lot of young fans that it's such an eye draw, you know, it's such a thing to see some of the people
Yeah.
actors that they grew up idolizing, watching their movies. Like even if you had not a lot of news to say, or you're you're button lipped about a few things, make an appearance, sign autographs, give a few tidbits of hope of what's coming new, some little sprinkles of teasers and stuff, or put on a little a skit. It's
See, but the studios aren't going to invest the money. They're really in trouble about the writer strike, according to Variety. And this is going to be, I'm going to paraphrase. Main reason behind the mass dropout comes to the uncertainty in the industry right now from the WGA writer strike, which still seems to have no end in sight, and the possibility at the end of this month could see SAG after. Well, this is a little previous, but and AMPTP failing to agree to terms and lead to actors also being on strike by the time SDCC arrives, which we haven't heard any of that officially. I think 2 weeks SDCC is right. With the very real prospect that the studios attending the event could be left with no one to actually speak on their panels, it is not surprising to see such a lack of commitment being shown. Okay. Now, who will actually show up to SDCC? All right. We have Warner Brothers Discovery have not decided whether or not they're going to go. Now, Max should be there in some capacity.
14 days, they haven't decided.
Yeah, well, Max should be there in some capacity. They're going to probably talk about Velma season 2. Now, if anybody cares. Paramount Pictures is committed to bringing a panel for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. Paramount Plus, no word yet. NBC seems to be having an appearance. And obviously, that includes Peacock. Amazon and Apple TV has yet to make any comments to whether or not they're going to show or not.
Are you holding a lot of people hostage who already bought tickets probably half a year ago?
But that's the beauty. People don't care. Because if you guys don't know, you guys and girls don't know, or maybe you do know, the only way to get in is either
fan verified registration.
But even then,
It's
the tickets or the passes sell out within minutes.
yeah, and you're talking about a 10-time markup on the secondary market.
Only way that's the only way to do it if you go and you purchase them, on the secondary market.
All right, so let's go to some positive news and give you some speculation. All right, if you were to speculate right now, top 5 cosplay attending San Diego in 2 weeks, Spider-Man and Gwen's got to be there.
Obviously, Into Spider-Verse, everything Spider-Man should be there. Spider-Gwen,
Mario.
Miles. You might see some Mario, but I mean,
Yeah, I'm just going on things that have been like kind of peaking right now. I mean, I'm sure Attack on Titan, since this is season 4, the last season, and it's been epic. I have to do an in-depth, but I'm waiting. Everybody's waiting for September when the last part of the very last Ender comes out. I'm assuming that might be a big one. There's a ton of other stuff out there, but right off the top of my head, Spider-Man, and Gwen. I bet you can see a ton of Gwens.
yeah. I mean, because it'd be cool if you see some Spider Punks, be kind of cool.
Spider Punk, I actually gave thought about doing myself. I mean, have a whole contingency of little minions with me that have pushed it out there in the last few days that we go as an entire Spider Verse.
If you do that, that would be pretty damn cool.
I mean, don't know how that's gonna happen for everybody, but I think I'll go as Porky. But that's just me.
Spider Ham, Peter Porker, the Spider Ham. All right, now getting to some positive news.
Oh yeah,
Now have the cast, or at least the two main leads in Superman Legacy.
dun, 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 dun. Go for it.
Okay. David Corenswet has been officially cast as Superman slash Clark Kent. Okay. So first of all, what do you think of that? I mean, he looks the role. He actually looks the role. He actually has a Harry Cavill vibe, and the dude is 6'4". So
Looks like Cavill's younger brother.
yes. So I mean, if he could fill out the suit, I'm
Thing I don't want to make waves, but there was so much chatter about going another direction. It's interesting they went this direction. There was some chatter out there. I gave it a little credence. It could have been generated falsely about going a different
and
gender.
what direction was that?
It was either a different gender, different orientation, or different even background.
The Superman Legacy. Be right, be wrong. Some fanboys would have cried bloody murder.
It would have been it would have been a mass boycott and probably a shutdown and would have
That is probably
James Gunn career.
the
But yeah,
best.
I'm looking at him now, and he's a younger Henry Cavill.
Yeah, I mean, my guess, James Gunn, he went with this guy because he's relatively unknown, at least to the main public, and you could lock him up for many years, and you could
That's a smart move.
basically use and abuse.
And I see Lois Lane.
Yes, Rachel. I'm gonna mess this. Brosnan, Brosnahan,
Say it's fast or slur it, and it's the trick.
Brosnahan.
Prison.
There you go.
A little older.
From actually no, she just looks older. She's in her 20s.
32.
Is she really?
I mean, good for you. You gave her a nice compliment there.
Well, you welcome. From Miss Maisel, right? Miss Maisel.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think she would do fine.
Yeah, I keep forgetting the years past. I mean, I keep forgetting that the 90s is like 30 years ago.
We would not speak of that.
So
Okay, she's 5'3", so there's gonna be a nice disparity here. Get her some nice pumps.
yeah, well, I mean, look, I'm okay with it. That's fine. I mean,
I'm okay with it. More importantly, what's the storyline?
well, it's gonna probably base it off of Superman Legacy, the series. I mean, it's gonna probably take some stuff from there, and he's gonna make it, make it
And
his own.
it says a target date of 25.
Yes.
Okay. Listen,
So
James Gunn, I trust.
I mean, I trust enough.
Where we go. Okay.
I trust.
Springboarding from that, I don't know how much influence James Gunn had with the final Flash edit.
Oh, here we go.
But
Yes.
yes, I'm going to go there. I saw the Flash. I liked the Flash. I thought it was a very good superhero movie. Now,
It seems like
hardcore people to the canon might get upset because I know pretty much what goes on with Flashpoint and how this had the basis of it, but it wasn't Flashpoint. So I get that. So that I can sweep out of the rug, like, oh, you can't be upset at that. Now I know that the box office sucked bad.
All right.
Sucked.
You want to get into this? Let's
Oh,
get.
yes, the movie itself, if Ezra Miller didn't have such a bad off-screen issue, I think it would have been a pretty good hit. Gal was there for like a cameo, but she was there. There's, am I spoiling things for a lot of people? I don't know, because it seems like nobody gave a damn that the movie came and went and dropping like a stone.
Do you think that because of Ezra Miller this happened, or you think people don't really care about the Flash, or people don't really care about DC unless it's Batman?
I Yeah, but Batman was in it. Not only Batman, three Batmans, legends. Okay, maybe legend and a half. No, the. Am I going off too much? Am I saying too much? Am I taking too much of?
No one has seen
Saying
it,
too
but
much that the best Batman was in it.
spoiler alert for everyone who hasn't seen it, which is,
Oh, you know who's in it. The best Batman was in it.
dude, it dropped box office wise. It dropped 75% in its second week. All right. It debuted at 55.7 mil. Okay.
Well, the reviews were terrible, and what do you call it? People really, I mean, cut down to the bone about the CGI.
Well, the CGI was terrible. And actually, I have seen several videos and a TikTok account, which a guy who actually worked on the CGI, which that's a whole other issue altogether.
Was he a blind intern?
No, the way Hollywood treats CGI and the studios. It'll be, for example, they'll go and they'll bid and they'll say, okay, we'll do this, we'll do 200 shots for $20 million. Let's just say, okay? But then the studio comes up and like, oh, these 200 shots, but 100 of those shots are very intricate, crazy shots. It could be 200 simple shots, or it can be 200, there's no, and if the budget is 20 mil or 10 mil, the budget's 10 mil.
Okay.
And the studio says, you know what, we need it in 10 days. So what ends up happening? You got to cut corners. You have to cut corners.
Well, okay, now that you've mentioned that, that I gave my little take on the Flash, let's compare and contrast with Secret Invasion.
Well,
now it's not over the top, but there are some incredibly intense CGI scenes. Obviously, you have to put when they change back to their original form, you have to do that CGI.
Well, let's be honest. The Secret Invasion, not to get too into it, because we'll have that in a separate episode. The only money spent on Secret Invasion is on Samuel Jackson, a couple of other, Emilia Clarke. Probably gave a couple bucks to Ben Mendelsohn. Kobe Smulders gave her a small stipend and a little cameo, as well as Cheadle.
And the one explosion scene.
And the rest was all in the morphing, because everything else is dull as can be.
Yes.
We're not gonna see any Avengers. We're not gonna see anyone who's making any sort of money.
Yeah, it's only 6 episodes. We're two done already.
No, we're 3 done already.
Oh, I'm behind. Yes.
So, and after you see what happens in episode 3, you can see how they keep saving money. That's what I'm gonna say.
All right, so we touched on many things. San Diego, Comic-Con, Flash, Writers Guild, Secret Invasion. What else is shaking?
Well, we have several little tidbits out there, so let's get to it. Right now, the early reviews of Mission Impossible Part 1, what's it called? It has a name. It's a Part 1 and a Part 2, but
Fast and Furious Mission Possible.
something like that. But yeah, but so far yes, Dead Reckoning Part One.
It's close.
It's at 98% fresh so far. So yeah. Now, if anybody cares about Tarantino, hello, anyone, Bueller,
Who now? What?
Bueller. Well, I mean, hey, if anyone cares, Kill Bill Volume 3 is not, I repeat, is not happening. Okay.
Nor should it.
Well, there was a whole thing that, remember the scene where she kills Vivica A. Fox's character and sees the little girl, the daughter, and says, "Well, if you feel some certain type of way,
Oh,
that effect, and you come looking for me, then I'll be
that
waiting." And everyone's like, "Oh, she's probably grown. You can, do." No,
similar thing was said with John Wick.
and so there was also considering that they could even do and have her daughter Maya actually, portray her or portray her kid, which would have been perfect, but you know,
It's just the new trend we're gonna see now, kid revenge, because that's The Last of Us. That's the ending of John Wick 4. That's Kill Bill 3, supposedly, purportedly.
hit the spoiler, by the way.
Not spoiler. If you haven't watched it at this point, come on, man.
It
Come
came
on.
May 26th, you clown.
All right, moving on.
All right. If anyone cares, also, Mattel's planning around 45 films and shows.
Or
What I mean for content, I suppose. I mean,
again, look, the summer movies. I don't know if you think they've been.
they're making a movie about the Magic 8 Ball.
Well, the Barbie movie, which we're going to review.
That's going to be epic. I can't wait for that.
I think it's gonna be epic. We're gonna do a whole show, and we might actually consider going to cosplay as Barbie and Ken, depending how the movie plays out, of course.
Well, that Rocco's going by himself, as
Both
Barbie and Ken. How about that?
barking.
Now, in other news, we go back to the writer strike. They extended talks until July 12th. So let's see.
Listen, from what I hear, one of the big hangups is the limitations imposed by usage of AI. And of course, the studio side does not want to put such stringent limitations. It's some percentage, which I don't even know how they're going to vet that. But some very small percentage will be from AI generated content as opposed to, actual writers.
The big checking point also is not only the writers, also because it is going to lead to the actors, and then it can lead to actor strike, because now you have many actors arguing the point of AI. In case,
because then they will replace them.
Yeah, you have Samuel Jackson saying that now he won't take certain roles and has to reread the contracts because there's many actors and many roles that have been kind of stuck, and they've been stuck in contracts in which you're giving up the character or your likeness in perpetuity.
A la Black Mirror season 6, episode 1.
Again, spoilers. My God, man.
Come on, you people out there. I'm not spoiling the whole damn thing, but I'm relating facts. I'm connecting the dots for you. And I would like to say to everybody, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I mean, no comments, man. No comments. Apple TV canceled High Noon. High Desert. I'm sorry, High Desert after one season. If anyone cared, it looked terrible anyway. So
sorry to you 3 people out there who watched it.
Yeah, sorry about that. The box office, as Rocka mentioned before, we had Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Quickie review on our Deader Dudes video YouTube page. Really quickly, Harrison Ford reprises the role of the iconic Indiana Jones. He is much older now, and it's somewhere between it's during the moon landing, so 59, I guess, 61, one of those. And he's older, he's a little sour, and he's stuck in academia until again pulled out to stop
All
it.
right, let's the rock on a quick ways ahead because he is chock full of spoilers as usual.
Spoiler man. All right. It was enjoyable to me. Now I don't know why it doesn't translate exactly to box office bonanza. It is a holiday weekend, the whole thing. I don't know how much interest with a different generation. Mind you, the first Indiana was what, 82 in the 80s. He still does excellent. It's pretty fast paced. He's spry for his age. The story is. It's loyal to the direction that Indiana Jones is, but I don't know if it's at this point, just like anything else that reaches five.
Anyway, going to so it accumulated 60.3 million over the weekend, while Elemental was number 2 at 12.1. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse just a shade below at 12 with a cumulative gross of 340 million. No Hard Feelings came out at 4 with 7.8.
Which I also reviewed and I watched, and that will come out this week. It was actually quite enjoyable. Surprised me.
Number 5, Transformers Rise of the Beast, which is floundering at 7.3 and a total accumulation of 136 million. Now we're talking
That's a flop.
domestic.
Yeah, but it's a flop, and I understand this is what, the fifth movie.
Massive flop, but a movie like that, they do well overseas.
They do. Can I give you the spoiler on that?
No, you cannot give me the spoiler on that.
Okay, it crossovers at the end. I'm going to leave it at that.
All right, because I'm going to give you some, and this is what the studios care. Domestic 139, international 245 million, worldwide is 385 million. Now, it's gonna probably make a slight I mean, it's gonna make some money for it. I mean, that they had who's the lead? They had no one of note as in the lead, correct?
Oh, what's his name? Who's from In the Heights?
Oh yeah, sure,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, you're right. They had no big name in the lead. It took a little bit of flack for being. I'll leave it at that. I won't go there. But the storyline was very ho hum. And again, my biggest pet peeve is the big bad in it. I'm not spoiling anything. The big bad is supposed to be Unicron, and you barely saw him.
Well, I mean, you got to keep the budget under the budget and the budget. I mean, come on. All right, number 6 was Ruby Gilman Teenage Kraken, which completely flopped at 5.5 million.
Is that on your list to watch? Because
No, actually, when I saw Spider-Man, they showed like a 3-minute trailer, which actually showed the whole freaking movie. So, no, 7, Little Mermaid at 5.3, The Flash actually at 8 with 5.2 with a massive sarcasm 99.4 total gross domestic for shits and giggles. Let's go international. 100. So right now it's 101.7 domestic, international 146.2 with a cumulative a total 247.9 worldwide, and obviously it's going to struggle to even break even. It's a movie that for the budget. Let me see. I mean, the budget's got to be what? I'm looking for the budget doesn't even have it. Shit. But it's probably easy 200 mil, probably more than that. So you're talking about all the promotion and everything.
225.
225?
Yeah.
So it's got to make a billion.
Cost of 150 million. The budget is at total 375.
So 375. It's not even a 3 yet.
It's in the red.
So it's got to make what, a billion?
$100 million in the red.
Got to make a billion to actually make some money. Yeah, no dice, Chino. No dice. It's not gonna make it. All right. Asteroid City at 9, 4.2, 18.6 total, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 at 2 mil with a total of 355
Domestic,
domestic,
5 worldwide.
482 worldwide. I mean, 482 international. Worldwide is 838. Now that is a hit. It will make $1 billion.
Well,
Who
Spider-Verse and Thor, right? Spider-Verse and Galaxy 3 are two in my already mid-year grades as best movies of the year.
Well, we'll get to that later on. Speaking of Spider Verse, I didn't give the totals. Right now, it's at 346, 267 international. It's at 613 in what, 3 weeks? No,
And once it streams, it probably hit a bill.
weeks. But yeah, it should easily a billion and be a runaway massive success for Sony and a lesser extent Marvel.
Well, one hand washes the other.
That's what they said. But all right, so let us know what you guys think about the SDCC conflict, about the writer strike, about the Flash, and what the hell DC is doing. DC they're really banking all this, and just let me say one quick thing.
Just one.
For all the good that James Gunn is proposing to do with DC, why in the blue hell would you set up this whole future, all these phases?
I know where you're going.
Have 3 or 4 films already in the can. So you're essentially nullifying these films because you're saying that they don't count. They don't mean shit. You're saying that the fans shouldn't even watch these because they are not part of the future. Ergo, why bother?
Yeah, it seems like you're cutting noses by your face.
Yes, you wasted all this money in Flash. You filmed the whole freaking movie,
Yeah,
Batgirl.
the money was already spent money. Like what Aquaman 2 was supposed to have done.
It's coming out, but I mean,
And the other one is coming out. What's Blue Beetle?
and I'm just saying, I think I read somewhere that Blue Beetle, I guess because of it might be part of James Gunn's universe, but
But the thing is, it's already spent. So like either I understand what Batgirl was spent too, and they can't that. Uh, I don't get it either. I don't understand. Like when the new generation or his generation comes out, it's not going to tie in. So it's just going to either confuse people a hell of a lot. The only way that he salvages everything is his first movie that he has his stamp on has got to come out of the gate guns blazing, like tear everybody to pieces. It's the only way. Otherwise, DC has just wasted their time and money, and so has James.
like the Mets. And with that, we'll leave you guys. Let us know what you guys think about James.
Down as the worst Dead episode of all time.
Let us know what you guys think. And this was a quickie rapid fire. And yeah, we'll get into more in depth of the miserable Walking Dead City that's coming up, as well as we're gonna try to come back into our Bad Juju series that's coming up also. So
I mean, did you think it was that bad?
we'll get into it.
Dead City.
We'll get into it.
I mean, I don't see why is it necessary? Did I like Negan reverting back to Negan? Yes.
Should we save this for the episode, sir?
We should. I just want to leave it out there as taking a breath and going, okay. Okay. All right.
All right. Take care, everybody. I'm Izzy.
I'm Rocka, and you know what? Have faith. Have faith. Number two, meet the Mets. The Mets.
Can't hear nothing. Okay. Again, still can't hear nothing. All right. Take care, everyone.